Hi guys, and welcome back. This is the Peninsula Angling Club training videos. I'm Dirk Buerta, and this is Chapter 2, Episode 2, Part 1 on the Rietvlei Trace. I did a bit of a diagram so that I can show you. Now, I really hope that in this lighting that you can actually see it. But you'll see that here is a schematic of the Rietvlei Trace, and over there is the Paternoster one. We'll be using that one next week. This one is this week, right? To run you through this very quickly, the blue line here is the main shaft that I taught you how to make in the previous episode. If you need to, please go back and look at it again. Then you need 2 hook links, 2 swivels, an M weight, and 2 beads. Now you'll see the beads are at the top and the bottom of your shaft. The beads are there to protect the knots that you are making. The top bead protects the figure of 8 knot that I showed you last week. The bottom bead protects the knot that you make to attach the bottom swivel. When you're using fear none swivels, like I told you in previous episodes back in chapter 1, the top one will be a size 14 fear none, if you've got, and the bottom one will be the size 12. The bottom one is the size 12 because it's a little bit bigger. It allows you to make that knot. The top one runs freely on the on your rig shaft, so it doesn't have to be very big. So that's the sequence. I'm actually going to make one for you. You're not going to be able to see me make the knots or actually see a lot, but it will give you an idea of what the effort is that's required. Now, let me get down one of my pre-made Rietvlei rig shafts. This is the 35 to 40 centimeter shaft. Then I also have 2 pre-made hook links. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see that, but maybe you can see that. Can you see that? Can you see that? Alright. Okay. I have my M weight and 2 beads and 2 swivels. So, here we go. There's my shaft. First thing I put on is a bead. This is so much faster when I'm not doing a video, for some reason. Then my number 14 fear none swivel. In my weight. Another bead, and then I'm going to tie on the bottom swivel, which is the number 12 fear none swivel, and it's going to be the swivel knot that I showed you last week. Remember? Well, last episode, not necessarily last week. Alright, it goes in. The fingers do not want to work when I'm making a video for some reason. This is usually a lot faster. Okay, but there we go. And remember, copious amounts of lubricant. That happens. It's actually good that happened, because that's a very good demonstration of what frustration you can go through when making rigs. The shaft is now too short. Cut. And cut. when you cut fishing line, cut it down to about 5 centimeters, smaller if you can, if you have time, so that animals don't get trapped into it, and birds can use it to make their nests. So you get down after having failed with the first one, another main shaft, and this is the advantage of making them in bulk. Now sit down in front of the TV. There you go. And guys, you saw I'm making this thing from scratch. I could have used that line again, but what's the point? What's the point in going fishing with something that you're not confident in? I see a lot of guys rocking up at the shore or the bank, and you can see they're not really confident in what it is they've got. It's very visible, and this is the kind of thing that makes them feel uncomfortable. It's because they know they didn't really put in the effort that they needed to. I mean, again, if you're socially angling, then it's entirely up to you. But if you're in a competition, make sure that what you've got is you've got confidence in. So again, I put on a bead. Here goes my swivel. Again, the Fear 9 size 14. Weight. The bead again. And we again try to tie up our bottom swivel. And again, it's the swivel knot that I showed you in the last episode. See. Again, lots of lubricant. Right, there we go, it's attached. I should actually, well, we'll get to that. But there you go, now you've got your shaft, a bead, a swivel, the weight, another bead, and another swivel. Let's just make sure that that is absolutely tight. Alright. Here you want to cut the short end off, but you want to leave a millimeter or two as a little bit of an ear, so that when it pulls tight, especially when you're casting, it can pull tight on itself. Alright, and I mean that by the line. Okay, now we're going to attach our hook links, and here again, ladies and gents, it is the swivel knot that we will be using. Just shorten that a bit. Your hook links, after they're tied on, need to be between, I'd say, about 10 and 12.5 centimeters long, from the swivel to the beginning of your, well, to the eye of your hook. Between 10 and 12.5 centimeters long. Some guys will go up to 15. Sometimes it works. I don't particularly prescribe to that, but yes, up to 15 centimeters. Most people will say is fine. Here again, to get your hook link onto the swivel, you're using the swivel knot that I showed you in the previous episode. And again, this is usually much faster when I'm not talking to a camera. Right, so that's our first one on. Here again, you want to leave a little bit of an ear. 1 or 2 millimeters should be fantastic. There we go. That's our first hook link on. And now we're going to do the next one. If you're wondering why it is that my forehead is shining, if it is, can't see, it's because it is about 30 degrees Celsius inside this garage at the moment. Yeah, it's a bit hot. Okay, again, top. We already have the bottom hook link on. I'm going to put the top one on now. And again, it's going to be the swivel knot. Yeah. And here we go. And pull. Awesome. Cut off that ear. Again, giving it a couple of millimeters to work with. If it gets pulled tight. And that's it. That is a bona fide Rietvlei rig. And just so you know, this particular rig, exactly this rig, as it is here right now, is going to nationals with me during March of 2014. This is a competition ready rig. It's an M1 weight with fear none 0.8 hooks on, and I'm going to catch fish on that. I have so much faith in this, it's going to nationals with me. Something that I should have probably added in episode 7 of chapter 1, in extra things that you need, are these little plastic bags. Some guys will tell you to buy little pull boxes to put your rigs in. Personally, I prefer these because they allow me to keep far more rigs in my tackle box. I fold it like that, let the hooks drop in put the weight in, put the line in, and close it up. This way I can roll it up and I can store it inside one of these little boxes, and you can see I pack them in. I put 2 in each row. There are 5 rows here. That is 10 rigs, and there's another, and another, and another. So I know I have 40 rigs in my hands right now. It's worth it. That then was the ins and outs of a Rietvlei rig. I'm going to show you that schematic again. Your shaft, 2 hook links, a bead, your M weight, and 2 swivels. Now you're going to put a bead on, then a swivel, then your weight, then another bead, then another swivel, and then you're going to attach your 2 hook links to the swivels. This swivel, remember, you're going to tie it on. And that's it. That's everything I can say about the Rietvlei rig. But before I sign off this episode, I need to show you one other trick. Do you remember in chapter 1 when I spoke to you about the weights that you needed to buy? I showed you the pair weight, and I told you that they do not normally have the little circle at the top. This is an example of one. That circle at the top that you saw here was one of these. I'm sure you recognize these. You can buy them at hardware stores. If you can, again, buy the stainless steel ones. They're more expensive, but they don't rust, so they are worth having. This is the, I think it's either the copper or the brass one. I'm very sure that people that hang curtains for a living and recognize these things. What you do is you take this and you very gently screw it in to the top of your weight. Now this I screwed in before so that I don't struggle, but be prepared. They don't always go in very smoothly, and try not to break them off on the shaft, because they're impossible to get out without destroying the weight. And yes, we will be using this in next week's episode, which is going to be about the Paternoster rig. The Paternoster rig also is also known by the names Voldam and Boer. So you'll see that under those names as well. Other than that, ladies and gents, it's going to be next week. Then we're going to spool some line, make a leader, and then we fish. We're getting closer and closer, and I'm sure you're probably annoyed with my voice by now. So, ciao guys, I will see you in the next episode.